Hello, young Nigerians. Um, my name is Ronke Kosoko, CEO Employment Clinic and CEO at the Maritime Innovations Hub. We are at a very crucial time in Nigeria's history. Election is just 7 days away, the presidential elections. My heart has been full. I have a lot to say. Many times I keep quiet and I've maintained this stance for over a decade. A lot of people wonder, you are leading an employment clinic. Why are you not always joining Aluta? Why are you not always shouting? Why are you not always talking? Why are you not always, stimulating the youth to, Because at the very beginning of my career, I got into the invisible economy of Nigeria. The place where nobody says anything, but a lot is going on. A place where the destiny of Nigeria as a nation is trapped. A place where I land hands-on conspiracy theories. Because many of you will be watching this video, your guys always say they are the .com generations. You are the internet generation. So you can actually dig out tweets. If you can dig out my tweets of 2012, 2013, and afterwards maybe until about 2014, 2015, actually stop talking shortly before the 2015 elections, and that's intentional. If you dig out those tweets, you will see some of the things that are now about to happen or begin to happen. We talked about it then a decade ago. Actually, some 60, 70-year-olds then said, the things in your head are bigger than your age, because I was living in the future. And I do not want to tell you who to vote for or why, but when I make my case, you make your own decision. I did a video, I think shortly before the primaries. I think it was few days before the primaries, and I didn't have a choice. I had to speak. I was wearing a yellow dress. Yeah, I remember one young person recently picking up that video and sending it across board and say, "Auntie, please do something that will enlighten the young voters on who to vote for." I know it wouldn't count for so much because I'm not one of your activists, OAPs, and all those people who control millions of followers online on social media. If you look very deeply, you see that most of the people who led Occupy or Jota in 2012, they are quiet now. Everybody has made a lot of money. Some have been returned to America to do PhD. Some had gone on exile. Some are doing their thing in Nigeria, but very quiet, very low key. We all know ourselves. We have each of that phone number. We talk. It is maturity and the exposure to certain truths that has made a lot of people to be quiet, not because they have sold out. Like you, the internet generation always accused everybody of being corrupt. In the industry where I work, I became a millionaire at age 28 and I became a billionaire at age 30. Recently, as I'm speaking to you, we have mobilized, I won't tell you the figure, but something tangible enough in terms of human and financial resources, capacity, backup, that will help us to train and place 5,000 young graduates and put them into jobs. We are also presently working with the powers that be, have $100 million funding that we're about to close up on. Like I said, working with the necessary government authorities. Why is it that as somebody who is leading an employment clinic, I do not believe in Aluta? Like I said, when they occupied Ojota 2012, I told my staff, I said, go home. These are the issues, these are the issues, these are the issues. Don't join any protest, because it was the right thing to do. They said we should buy fuel at 141. We go through the process and we balance. 10 years later, you are now queuing for fuel at 185, 200, 350, 400, and nobody's saying anything because there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Fuel subsidy is about 6 trillion. That was the entire budget, national budget, under Goodluck Jonathan's administration. A lot of young people also, I discover, do not have any business with policy. They think abusing Buhari or abusing Tinubu or Peter Obi or Atiku, his words would naturally change a nation. Unfortunately, that's not how it works in practical terms. Again, like I said, I have a lot to say. but I will not be able to say everything. I will just give you the nuggets, and like I said, make a choice. In 2020, again, there was a crisis. The Occupy, was it? No, NSAS. A day before the blocked Lekki toll gate, I drove past that route and I spent 6 hours in traffic. The other guy with us had to take over the wheels and all that. Something I just felt was just a normal outing to Aja area. By the time we got out, they said we were the last set that got out of that conundrum. And you all know what happened. A peaceful protest turned bloody. This morning I heard there is a crisis at mile 2. Is it mile 2 or mile 12? K2, that's mile 12. I heard there is a crisis around Agege. I heard there is a crisis around Sabo. And all that. You know, a young unemployed person is an available tool for violence. Even if nobody instigates him or her for violence, he has a lot of frustrations. No job, probably no family, no future. You have money, you can't access it. Probably you've been keen for 2-3 weeks. You get 2K, you get 5K, all kind of stress, or you spend 6, 7, 8 hours doing nothing, also queue for 5K. Those are issues, very, very real issues. But like I said, unfortunately, a lot of negotiation goes on when election is in the air like this. Like I said, if you dig out tweets, you will see me then talking about opportunities in maritime. Like I said, it was then that I met Lekki Port issues on the table. There was no blockade. I knew Governor Fashola was governor. I knew the center was PDP. The state was APC. I knew there were things the states wanted to do that they could not achieve because the power at the federal was PDP. When power changed in Aso Rock and it became APC, you know, even though I was in support of the policy enacted under a particular administration, because policy is actually what creates jobs or lifts people out of poverty. Now, I won't be able to say much, but I will use one state as an example. I have worked in Akwa Ibom State. I worked with people who had direct friends of the then governor. I knew all about Ibakasi Port. I knew all about how he became Ibeno and all that. Even after a particular governor spent 8 years, we did not see one blockade. Meaning the same opportunity that state governor had, and the time was the same opportunity and time that Lagos state governor then had. But they started a journey. Lekki Port today had become a reality. When we were talking then, they said they were going to create 165,000 jobs. It was on paper, but we knew this job was going to come. The governor at the state level were doing their part. The policy makers were doing their part, even though Abuja was not a cooperative. But anyway, a decade later, Lekki Port has become a mecca of some sort. I think President Buhari had come there like 3-4 times. Amechi had come there. Everybody wants to be there. A lot of DG Nimasas, MD, MPA, Minister for Transport. Why? Everybody wants to attach themselves to success. Everybody likes to identify with success. That success story wouldn't have been a possibility if somebody did not have a vision in 2006 to say, see, that's 17 years ago. This thing, there has to be an alternative to a papa. There has to be an alternative to Tinkan and Wolf. It wasn't government's money, but government did some things right that made the private sector to be able to say, this is where I want to put my money. Today, I can tell you authoritatively there are about 4-5 states now who had now woken up that their ports had to become a reality. Like I said, I worked in Akwa Ibom as a consultant. In fact, there is a particular consultancy work that I did. It was the governor that approved it for his friend, and he called me immediately. I hopped on a plane. We did the paperwork. This was 2012, because we were teaching the states what's needed to do to industrialize and leverage their infrastructural development. After we finished that work and we got to the Commissioner for Local Government Affairs, I remember he told us, Oga, we know you are well read, widely traveled. All this grammar that you are talking, where is the money? The people that put me here, they think they will be asking me, the first thing they will be asking me is, where is the money? My friend was embarrassed and said, hey, we don't care. I told him to push and push anyway. How How many Akwa Ibom people are in Lagos today who are doing houseboy and housegirl, Okada riders and all that? If there is Ibaka Seaport, do you know how many thousands of people that would not want to live in Lagos? I can actually live in Uyo or Calabar. Very peaceful for me. Once you travel a week or so, you have added weight. Because I hear a lot of abuses against Lagos. Like I said, the success story of Lekki Port that made President Buhari to go to Lagos about 2-3 weeks ago. I know there is a committee set up at the Federal Ministry of Transportation of some people now who are pushing, including Edo, Ondo, and others, saying they wanted their own seaports. I know the work that we did in Cross River State. In fact, it was actually in Cross River State that we started a project, the Journey of Maritime Conversion Program, with one of my brother, Abdul Makori. He may have forgotten. I think, yeah, Abdul Makori or Imaya and all that. Many of the vision on the Calabar economic outlook then are still on the table. They have not become a reality. If Calabar leaders from the past, Duke, to the next one, Lieli Moke, to the next one, had worked the way Lagos works, Tinapa will not be down. Calabar will not be able to expatriate. There are some things that would have happened in that state that would have put everybody at a competitive advantage. Many Calabar people who are doing prostitution in Lagos, aristos, who come, probably they will not be doing it because there is enough to do in their states to make money legitimately. I walked across the Niger Delta, NDDC specifically. In fact, I bidded for a job at Nimasa with the then MD at NDDC, Timi Halaibe, where I competed with 17 men and I won that project and signed it for 6 years. I saw hands-on the things that happen across NDDC states, including River State. Many of you would have been lifted off of poverty, unemployment, aluta, whether online or offline, if your governors at least put up a plan like Lagos did. Lagos is overstretched. Lagos is tired. Lagos is looking for an alternative. There is Lekki Port, there is Badagry Seaport coming up, there is Zincan, there is Wharf. I have not even finished Apapa work. For many of you that say there are no jobs, when Lekki Port finished, they packed half of their staff from Apapa. Many of them workers there are the people that we've trained in Apapa and tripled their salary and gave them accommodation. But that's not where I'm going. How really does development happen? Development doesn't happen when people distribute for 5,000 to 10,000. So people, millions of people. Development happens when citizens are educated, well-skilled, well-positioned, so that when opportunities open up, they are readily available to take up those jobs and they can build their own life. You may have so many issues against Lagos State of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but if you really move around, if Governor Sanwo-Olu ends up watching this, I schooled in Ijaniki. I went to Ijaniki College of Education at age 16. I graduated at 19. At that 19, I was supposed to go to LASU. I was in Shakara. I said School 2. Because when you finish in Ijaniki level 7 officer, you go to LASU or any university, you finish as level 8 officer. So we were doing Shakara because we were young, just 19. We call it School 2. We cannot go to School 2. So we're going to Ibadan. We are going to Ife, Shakara. So I know that environment very well. From my school to Badagry, because my cousins live in Badagry, we will enter 15 naira home. We will buy a bunch, a pineapple, one whole pineapple for 20 naira. We will hit to Stupo, 20 naira. I'm not sure you can get that pineapple at 400 now, but it's 20 naira. We will just wake up from school and go to Semeboda. I will remember one of the towns that we used to go and buy duvet, to go and buy bed sheets when we don't want to go to Vespa. Yes, we walk Okrika, shoes and bags and all that. Today, that Badagry is going to have a seaport. The road, if you have been to that road, I put it upon myself as a duty sometimes to go inspect the things that are happening there. I'm telling you today, I cannot drive myself to Lasu, except if I drive from Egbeda and go into Lasu and park. Because I do not understand the bridges that are there anymore. I do not understand the road anymore. There are bridges everywhere. Agboju, everywhere. Lasu, Yanoba, Alaba. I do not understand that road again. But what exactly is happening there? A lot has happened. Roads, bridges, now rail, and all that. That shows something. In Lagos Marina, you'll see a rail. When I started my career, I go in maritime industry and traffic. People were dying in traffic. We spend 6 hours, 8 hours in traffic. We will go through marinas to go and use the ferry to cross to Apapa. Those things were not there, and I know what we suffered. What I suffered personally, just to be able to gain experience, to be able to stay in the industry. If you go to Oyigbo, you see bridges ongoing. If you go to Yaba, there is another bridge. I live in Ikeja for so long. I do not pass through Ikeja along airports, then Ikeja Honda Bridge. Few months ago, when I had to go and take around August, September, to go and get my voter's card, because something took me to that environment consistently, and I felt this is an opportunity. Let me go to the local government and collect my voter's card. I do not understand. Ikeja, under bridge, Medical Road, Ikeja along. In fact, that one at Ikeja along, I still do not understand it. Because the day we drove past, sadly, I couldn't stop. But a lot has happened in that region. If you go to VGC, so many things are happening. VGC Hajar bridges. 20 years ago, they said on those roads, young children were always playing football. There was no Lekki. Today, to go to Lekki Port is a problem. To go to Eleko is a problem. So even go to Hajar is a problem. I'm telling you, Lekki, anything that will take me beyond Ikoyi VI is a problem. Every of those environments, real estate has boomed. People have made billions. People have, I remember there is a young man called Wale Ayilara. When he graduated in 2012. 2012 is 10 years after I had left college. I'd left University of Lagos. I remember vividly I had an accident and I was just coming out of that accident, and I was still limping when I got that invitation to come to Taswed in Ijebu-Ode. I went and I was presented a plaque. I still have it in my apartment here today at that event. Olaiwale Hayilara owns Landway. Wale Hayilara is a big boy today because of what he made from real estate. I said, when I still have time, I will tell him, Wale, come and teach me what happened. But what I'm saying is that environment, there is Lekki Phase 1, there is Lekki Phase 2, there is VDC, there is Aja, there is Eleko, there is Lakowe, there is Amen Estates, there is all kind. Look at where Dangote Refineries is. Look at all that has happened there. Stimulated by a private sector driven person. That is how development takes place. Now Ogun State is Lagos is linking Ogun. Imagine if that development links Ogun and Ogun links Oyo and Oyo links Ondo. What will an Ondo person come and look for in Lagos State? I won't talk about Eco Atlantic. I think I said that in the video before the primaries. Because as a student, we used to go with the Kega to go for weekend parties at that place. I knew about the ocean surge. Today, you can't afford a flat inside the Eco Atlantic. I do a lot of meetings there. I have a lot of expatriate friends there. But that is development. 165,000 jobs are Lekki. But Agriport is coming up jobs. Apapa, Tinkan, Wharf, so many things are still going to happen. There are a lot of things we are working on with the federal government, Federal Ministry of Transportation. There are some even conversations that we are taking up with the Lagos State government itself. Actually, this afternoon, the minister is in the same city with me, and I just spoke with a friend about a minute ago, about an hour ago, and I said, sir, when you get into Lagos tomorrow, I will be sure I'll join the next flight, and we will both be available to get into the car for that meeting. Very, very massive stuff that are going to link each other. What am I saying? What do you want 2023 to 2027, 2027 to 2021? You want emotional generation, or you really want a leader that can take you out of poverty, not by giving you handouts, cash transfer of 5,000, 10,000. Yes, when they were doing that, it worked for the people that they were giving that to. But is that what you want as a graduate? At what age do you want to stop doing Alota? There are so many people contesting, but there are 3 contenders at the top: Labour Party, PDP, and APC. I've been very vocal about this election. A lot of people are shocked. I said yes, because I made the decision. And I wish I can empty my head and my experience, plus certain things that I can't discuss behind the camera, and tell young people why it is important to look critically into the story people and not just follow emotion. It was emotions that you all followed that led you here. Again, I wasn't part of that emotional generation, but I'm not going to talk about it. But interestingly, there has been a lot of massive infrastructural development across the country. If infrastructure does not happen, there is not going to be private sector. Government doesn't create jobs. Private sector does. In 2020, in 2019, I had a crisis. In 2018, I'd made up my mind. I was leaving Nigeria. Then I had a crisis, and somebody kidnapped me because it took my 6-year project to himself, which I just sent to the DG Nimasa, the paper evidence. Say all those things, look at the evidence, but that's not where I'm going. I'm coming back. So I decided to now stay and slug it out. And now, by the grace of God, you will see in the news the kind of conversations that we are moving with both federal government and state government, and the infrastructural development that you are going to see within the maritime ecosystem and transportation industry. That industry alone today can put 1 million people into jobs. But if you don't even understand the politics, the wicked politics, the amount of money that is ongoing in that space. Atiku owns Intels, where his major money comes from, in dollars. Is he going to do all that is needed across the length and breadth of maritime shipping, transport, and logistics industry? He's made a lot of money from Intels. Ask MPA, ask the federal government. I see Peter will be saying all sorts up and down. I can't interview him because he's going to fail. Let me tell you, recruitment is about track record. Many of you had gone for job interviews, they don't call you back. They tell you we'll get back to you, I have never looked for a job in my life. Why? Because I bring value to the table. Because before I finish talking, they want to grab me. Even in my home business, people want to drag me out. Why? Anywhere, I remember one day I decided I wasn't going to do business and I wanted to just do a job. Let me just be earning money, 1 million, 2 million salary at the end of the month. Let me just go and have a child, this and that. I'm not even doing business again because I had a lot of billions and And one of my friends asked me to recommend somebody. I said, I'm quitting business. And they said, you big woman. I said, I need to go and start a family. My work doesn't give me time. And I said, he said, no, the opening they had is smaller for me. We're just joking, he's an Indian friend. And I sent him my resume. As soon as I sent him my resume, my heart clicked. That nobody is going to hire you. Your CV is bigger than whatever he's been. So I quickly did a mail to the HR and say, I'm sorry, if you see my CV, don't get threatened. I'm just a woman in my mid-30s. I need to pay attention to childbearing. I gradually rolled out of business and I told all my staff to go away and all that. So please, he said it was shocked, but thank God I put. As soon as I went for the meeting, the first meeting, there was no coming back. They wanted me to start work immediately. The third day, they said, let her handle procurements, let her handle corporate services, I had to call them and say, what? No, this is not what we talked about. They were ready to put the old 2 companies on me almost immediately. What did they see? Track record. That's what I want to talk about. What is the track record of the person you want to vote for in the next 7 days? Someone who moved IGR from 600 million per month, 7.2 billion per annum, to 50 billion per month, 600 billion per annum, and still increasing. Running projects, building bridges, building rails, building this and that without federal government support or 9-1 era investments. Or somebody who cannot even develop his own state, that you cannot see commissioners or the people he has raised coming to speak and say, this is what he did, this is what he did, this is what he did. Or somebody who has made billions, if not trillions, billions of dollars over the years. And yet, that money has not finished, and said he still wants to lead you? Is he wanting to lead you so that he can use that presidential power to take over all those things? You know the people that I'm talking about. Lagos today plays host to everybody from everywhere. You come with a poly bag, you become a house owner. Igbos, Yoruba, Hausa, everybody. Lagos is overstretched. But we are happy. If we are not doing the right things, people will not be coming to Lagos. Lagos 1 is full to capacity. Lagos 2 is also jamming, like I said. If you are on Ajah axis, they have traffic sometimes at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And I said, this looks like Songo Ota many years ago. In fact, now they are still like that. 3, 4 a.m., people are still waking up from that road trying to come to Lagos to come and work. If every other, let's say 20 state governors had done their work the way Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did his work in Lagos, if they had built a pattern, a succession planning, and allowing the best of the best emerge as leaders to continue the development plan for the state, not personal development plan. Many of you should be doing shakara. Say, what's in Lagos? What do I want to go and do there? Lagos people have moved into Abuja. Abuja that used to even be peaceful is no longer peaceful. Abuja that doesn't have traffic now has traffic. Development doesn't happen by emotions. Millions of people don't get out of poverty or unemployment because of emotional gyration. If you sit down and talk or speak with the people who worked with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the 1999 days when they took over power from military, and there was nothing, zero. I'm working with somebody who they didn't even have money to pack the debts that Loma is packing today. They didn't have. Commissioners would go out in the middle of the night in different areas packing debts with their own hands just for Lagos to be cleaned the next day. Until they had to bring in Julius Berger, who gave them the state 200 million and vehicles and support to clear the debt. Where you have Oriental today, Asiwaju said it with his own mouth that he was a heap of debt, and it took months of scavenging for it to become a habitable place where you have a beautiful hotel. I'm not looking for a saint. Not even your pastor is a saint. Not even your imam. Not your chief imam. Not your pastor. Not your bishop. Not your GO. No human being is perfect. But if I have a leader who can multiply 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64, 64 to 128, 128 to 4, 256, 256 to 512, 512 to 1024, and on and on. That 1024 to 2048, 2048 to 4096, and all that. I'm willing to die for that leader because it's about the people. Again, like I said, in 2020, yes, after the crisis, actually from 2019, a German friend asked me to handle a job. He had left. Many expatriates left Nigeria. Immediately, Buhari became president. Many international companies. Some waited till 2016 because they didn't appoint ministers for 9-10 months. And a lot happened economically. That was where our economy began to decline. So they said they are not coming back to Nigeria. If they are going to do any work in Africa, have to go and handle it. They will be leading from where they are. In 2020, there is a 105-year-old company. We needed to sell 60% of the shares to a foreign. It's an international organization anyway. The founders are dead. The children are dead. The major investors just felt, see, we are tired. We have a lot. We want to sell the 60% stake. So we had Nigerian buyer. We had international buyer. We needed to turn that company to an ecosystem where we have a workshop. The workshop was servicing 53 clients, including Coca-Cola, Guinness, Nigerian breweries, Olam, Dangote Refinery, all that kind of big clients. 53. We needed to take it up. The Russian was 70-year-old, also retiring. We had a systems group from Italy. We had 8 powerful companies like that. We had a company that wanted to do HDPE pipes. I had gone to do the field work. We've gone to Kano, we've gone to necessary places in Lagos. Until Corona. Even in the middle of Corona, we were working until they had to shut down the airport and they had to leave. When they left, up until now, they have not come back. But they are on the edge. Nigeria is on the radar, but not a priority. And there are thousands of investors like that, private sector investors, who had money but are not putting it down here, watching. And between that 2020 and 2023, they had invested in Malawi, they had invested in India, they had invested in which the recent one, Malawi, India, Senegal. Massive investments. I showed it to Asiwaju Bola. I said, as a private sector person, consultancy, I'm very confident. I don't need to go to Asiwaju's Asuro. At least 10 of my private sector clients, expatriate clients, organizations, they will fly to Nigeria in the first 6 months. Let's be modest. If I have 50 million consultancy, I'm saying let's be modest. In 10 places that's 500 million. I will be busy. I will be busy. Employment will double in those organizations. We had payroll that we tripled. We have payroll that we doubled. We had recruitment to be engaged, to be embarked upon. Everything stopped. There is trillions of dollars. There are trillions of dollars available for investment moving around the world. If Nigeria works, and many of you are lifted out of poverty and unemployment, many nations will crash. The people who are manipulating Nigeria's destiny, they know where they tie this destiny of this country. So he behoves on you, the citizens, to open your eyes and decide your own future. I won't tell you whether to vote for Atiku or to vote for Asiwaju or to vote for Peter Obi. But if I were to tell you, I would tell you to vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man who understands the private sector. As it stands, he audited Mobil. Mobil is not a Nigerian company, it's an international company till tomorrow. I used to have a Dutch boyfriend. Their company in Nigeria only works for 4 organizations. They'll tell you Nigeria companies cannot afford us. If it's not Mobil, if it's not Chevron, it's not Shell, and one other one, those 4, fuck it. They are not interested. They work offshore. I know the things that happens there. So for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be able to audit Mobil and August Ed Rose, he knows what he's doing. To be able to get promotion twice in 5 years in an American organization, and they still say it today is our product. That's not like a civil service job that somebody gives to you or dash you. If the work that has been done in Lagos is so shit, why has other governors not been able to do it? Those who have fair enough, like Adesirika, he said Eko is no longer Eko for sure. He said Eko is now Eko for copy. He talked about when he was young and he was growing up in Lagos, when he bought his first car, when he would buy tire and sell and trade. My minister will tell you all that he experienced in Lagos. How, as a young person, he would jump the ferry from MPA to cross to Apapa to Flower Mills and all that. And that day last year, I said, sir, it was my own experience when I came into. People at the top believe in the greatness of Lagos because they saw 10, 20, 30 years ago while they were growing up, before they became governors, before they became ministers. How come this younger generation are the ones who doesn't want to learn? Whose business is just to abuse someone, who abuse your Asiwaju, abuse this, abuse that. See, I'm not interested in emotional. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to appear before TV. I don't like it because the things that I'm doing, like I said, I have destroyed a lot of conspiracy theories. A place where they say women would not thrive. A place where you can never thrive as a young person. If you like our first class, come to the maritime industry, shipping, transport, and logistics. The powers that be there, the kind of money that they are making, they don't want you to even be knowledgeable enough to be able to make a life of your own, and then a salary and just live your life. Not to talk of becoming somebody. They want everything for themselves and they want everything for their children, even when you are more qualified than their children. This young woman has broken a lot of limitations, a lot of barriers. Time wouldn't permit me to talk about our achievements up until this hour, particularly in the last 6 months. Is it what we have done with the Ministry of Transportation or Ministry of Finance or the Lagos State Government or the UN Women or the Maritime Innovation Hub? We are keeping everything quiet for the emergence of a president whose lighter will just ignite everything. And like I said, not just Lagos, so that what has happened in Lagos can happen across the 36 states of the Federation. So that your governors can be sleeping in their own states and not be running. Governors are running, citizens are running. Everybody to Lagos. How do they want to develop their states? so that we can have a president that is not going to be dishing handouts to governors who will just carry agbada and come to Abuja doing nothing, running their states from inside their car, and they hop on a plane and go again, coming back for another allocation. A governor who can show, a president who can show them, see, we created something out of nothing. How can we create something out of nothing in your state and jumpstart 36 states? He's not looking for a job. Buhari is not looking for a job. Buhari's children are already made. Aisha has married her daughters to billionaires, Ndimi and co. Buhari has put all the Fulanis in civil service work. NMPC, DPR, MPA, NIMASA, where did they put you? They have taken care of themselves. Ashwaju's child is not looking for a job. Even Peter Obi's child is not looking for a job. Atiku Abubakar children are not looking for a job. So why are you fighting for a battle that does not concern you? Why are you not focused on who can give me a life? Who can build the future that I want? Like I said, it has nothing to do with emotions. Anyone that I've collected one era from them, they should come out. And yet I have access to everybody. My friend, one of my very, very respectable friend, Demola Rewajo, works with Atiku directly. Do I have any issue with this principal? No. But I believe Asiwaju has more credentials than his principal. I have seen what Asiwaju has done in his life. Even in the days of struggle, how we create money for struggle. Professor Wale Soyinka talked about his experience. Governor Kayode Fayemi taught a lot of people. I do not need his perfection. I need his brain. He's been very careful about the things he says, and I can understand because I'm also like that. There are things that I did. There are people who are twice my age wanted to take away from me and wanted to position themselves as the one who did it. So I keep my ideas to myself and work solo. They sent government after me. They kidnapped me because they felt at 30 I was too young to earn billions. And I have now even done times 10, times 100 of what they tried to take away from me. So I had to keep quiet. Not for fear of them, because 8 years, 10 years later, my record has not been matched by anybody within a massa. Yes, 10 years later, the records are there at the maritime level. What I did, which I've explained to Asiwaju's team, and I allowed them to see things for themselves. So, like I said, the things that I do or we have done, the foundation that we have laid, the things that we have built for you, the people that are involved, from this administration and the next administration, we just have to keep it for political reasons and just watch. But I can tell you categorically that in the first 1 year of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed's administration, in the first 1 year, there will be practical, at least practical, 1 million employment that you by yourself will hold microphone and talk to Nigerians by yourself, whether you are employed or not, whether you move from point A to B or not. Hold me responsible because I know what the economic team are doing. I know the things that are going to connect. The dots have been there. A lot has happened, even from our own angle. Like I said, Nigeria, you have to be able to keep your dreams like Joseph. Because if you don't, you will die before you get to the destination. That explains my quietness for over the decade. But it doesn't mean we've not been working. I stayed back and said, me, Jack, but my husband has a house in London. I told him not to come home for the election. I will be in Lagos to vote. You stay there. So I have option. If I deny not to vote, nothing will affect me. I don't have to queue for cash. I don't have to queue for anything. Do you understand? What is happening to you on the field, on the streets? Buhari is not feeling it. 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, those people are not the ones involved in corruption. If we want to tame the people involved in corruption, we know what to do. And we could have done this shortly before the 2019 election or immediately after the 2019 election. I'm not speaking for any politician. I'm speaking as a Nigerian. If there's any need for me to come back to the camera, I would do just that. But young people, particularly from age 18 to 40, go back and think, who can stimulate private sector investments? Who can stimulate the right and enabling environments? Who can stimulate the kind of things that has happened in Lagos? See, they say they are doing this, they are doing that. I said, let us divide this country into two. Let those who can put their head to work and create 500 trillion for Nigeria GDP. That's about $1 trillion GDP for Nigeria in 10 years. Put them on one side. Let us be working. Let those who want to steal, put them on another side. Let them be stealing. Let those of us who knows what to do and can work and know what, if something is 1 naira, somebody wants to buy it 2 naira, I do not have a problem. But don't let that person who cannot even do something of 10 kobo come and stop those of us who knows how to do 1 naira to 2 naira, how to do the right thing. We will gladly help you make what you want to make. So that's why I said incompetency is actually more expensive than corruption. It was not corruption that built Lagos. If it were easy, every government would do it, state governments. And I used an example in the video that I did before the primaries. I said there are many pastors, so many churches that have been there before I was born, before Oyedepo was born. Why were they poor? What did Oyedepo do differently that made him to create wealth, systems, structure, new things that other churches who are even older than him in age came to learn from him? This kind of things, you don't find it in so many people. I have no personal business with Asiwaju as an individual. But his brain, how many years does he have left? Nigeria needs to harvest his brain. So that 30 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, there will be people like him who will grow into the future and say, we are the next Asiwaju, we are the next this, we are the next that, we are the next Kadoso, we are the next Fashola, we are the next Dede Alake, we are the next Oshibajo, we are the next Kayode Anibaba, we are the next this and that. How many people that were products of Asiwaju are in this administration? They are not the president. If they didn't do what they are supposed to do, it's not their fault. They have a leader. They cannot move beyond the capacity of the leader or where the leader wants them to get to. But Governor Fashola is a product. Look at what he's doing in works and infrastructure. Look at East West Road. Look at the things that they have done through the tax whatever that is leading to the building of roads and bridges across the private sector are putting in NNPC, MTN, Dangote and all that. Excuse me, these things is not rocket science. Let them even do what Fashola did in Lagos in his first 4 years. In case you don't like Tinubu, because he's actually the dreamer. Governor Fashola was just an actualizer, and he passed the baton. And that one too passed the baton. And the one that is there will pass the baton. We just launched a 30-year plan, Lagos 2022 to 2052 in October last year. Like I said, so many things are ongoing. Lagos has become a standard, the commercial capital of Nigeria. What makes you think the people who built it from nothing to a commercial capital cannot build Nigeria from what it is presently in its rubbles? It's one of the largest economy that will be respected all over the world. You think all the conspiracy theories that is being brought up against these people and this man, you think it's ordinary? People know the money that is under when these things are stimulated and how it will impact you, the citizens. That they know that this person knows what buttons need to press. Let us stop him by all means. So when they castigate people, when they build resistance against them, I always look, because my life is a life that I've experienced a lot of resistance, because there is something in me that God gave me that other people wanted. They can't fathom, how can it be she? She's just a woman, she's just a young girl, she's young, she's this, she's that. Unfortunately, God did not give it to them. It's the same thing with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What God gave him, he didn't give to so many people. Like I said, I'm not looking for his perfection. Atiku is not perfect. Peter Obi is not perfect. I'm not looking for their perfection. I'm looking for track record. I'm looking for capacity. I'm looking for teamwork. I'm looking for people who already know the road, who will not spend 1 year giving us same, and say after 10 months he wants to give ministers, and they will be learning the ropes what to do. No, I need a president that will hit the ground running from day one. How do you know Asiwaju is going to? I know, because I'm privy to certain things behind the scenes. Give us a chance. Vote for this man come February 25. And please, no matter the frustration, do not fight anybody. Whether at the ATM, they want war, they want kills, they want a bigger version of answers where properties will be destroyed. When they destroy MP, I was shivering where I was. They touched Tinkan, they were almost getting to Nemasa. If it had happened, we had not even finished rebuilding what they destroyed. So don't let them use the money that is remaining that they are supposed to use to take care of you and build your future to be building rubbles. Let us build with our intellect. Let us do haluta with our brain. You have endured a lot. Endure to the end. It's just 7 days away. Go to the ballot with your PVC and vote for the choice that you know that in his hands your future is safe. Like I said, let's talk again after May 23, 2020, May 29, 2023, or whenever they count the election, they decide a winner. At that time, I'll be able to open my mouth in specific terms and not speak in parables. But at least for now, go and think independently. Do not follow any activists. Do not follow any OAP. Do not follow any radio or television analysis. Go into your quiet moments. Look into every state one by one. If you are from Rivers, ask why your former governor cannot sleep in a state and his proteges live in Lagos. Ask why how your governors want to live in Lagos. They said Shetima lived in the state Borno. He stayed in the middle of the terror. That's why he could understand how these things should be crushed. Stop voting leaders who are far away from you, who are only interested in. There is nobody that will not make money. Ashwaju will make money because Atiku will make money, Peter Obi will make money. So what's my business with making money? I said make the money and still build the nation. Tinubu is making money because what's my business? Is he building the state? Yes. If they say everybody that does not have anything to contribute in Lagos today to leave and go back to their state, can you function in your state the way you are functioning in Lagos? Let's be sincere. And governorship election is very, very important. You must vote in your states. You must make a decision that affects your life. We have some people who come to Lagos to rape. They come to Lagos to steal. They come to Lagos to come and do bazu, they go. Because they cannot stay in Rivers, they cannot stay in Edo. Without Lagos money at Nimasa, they cannot survive. So they will play all kind of wicked policies. Lagos today contributes 70% of Nimasa's earnings. And Nimasa is just a fragment of the university. There's MP, there's Shippers Council. What do you know about all those places? What do you know about your waterways? What do you know about the Railway Corporation? What do you know about so many things? But we can't stimulate that knowledge economy. You remember Hohiman? He became somebody who sought exile in America because he was doing the right thing. Buhari bullied him out of the country because they do not want superior opinion, military power. Keep everybody quiet. You know how many journalists faced a lot of issues because they want to enlighten the people. Young people were silenced. They are talking about Japa. You think people just carry their bag and Japa? Nigeria pushed them to Japa. What is Osakrele doing in America? When the country that you are in does not respect what you have, you move. Why are you here? I'm not here. I go and come. But like I said, the things that we have done or we are doing, except we stay back and do it. I'm telling you, 20, 30 years, no matter where I go and live it, in fact, it will be worse, even for my children. That's why I stayed. Because the powers, locally and internationally, that be over our maritime space alone, I said there is no future. You can't come into that space on your own with PhD from Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, and get anything done if you don't understand the dynamics. So I stayed, I gained the experience. Everybody knows me, all the powers that be. I fought my home battle, like I said. They started to steal what belongs to me, saying I was too small. I did times 10. But kept it to myself and working with people that can silence them, if need be. Why? I need to create a path for my generation, whether young, male or female. But like I said, we are not going to talk about those things that have been done until Ashiwaju gets into office. So February 25 is almost here, and May 29, 2023. And after that, like I said, we will talk. Not just talk, because talk does not cook rice. There's a lot of money, funding, opportunities, vistas available that has been locked down. We're just waiting. Once the election is over, if I would have started even before this crash crisis and others, lock it down. Let's see where the nation is going. After that, we open the lid, and then, like I said, we can speak clearly in plain English and not in parables. But until then, stay safe and go and vote. Use your sense. Do not fight anybody, no matter the instigation. The bloodthirsty demons who make billions and trillions from war, they are ready to be enriched over the blood of the innocent. Do not let your blood be part of those ones. You have a great future ahead of you. You are the next Ashiwaju. You are the next president. You are the next Oshibajo. You are the next Fashola. You are the next Ronke Kosoko. You are the next DJ Nemasa. You are the next MDMP. You are the next Minister for Transport. You are the next ship owner. Do not let anybody use you as a pawn in their game. Go and vote for your own future come February 2025. And tell your friend to tell your friend to tell your friend. Share this video. And again, like I said, follow me on all my social media handles. And we'll talk. When you hear the noise from our organization and after immediately at the beginning of the next administration, calling for entries for 50,000 graduates, please do not hesitate to register. It won't cost you a dime. Some people have taken care of all those across at least about 9 states for now. But it's the rest lies on you to work for the people who will make this a possibility, and not those who will want to carry all that belongs to you and your children and add to their own life and their children. I won't say more than that. Thank you, and have a good day.